Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
And good evening, everyone. This is Bob Pompeani, and welcome to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. And we have a temporary new location as we begin work on a new studio for this program. So, thus, we're here, and hope you like how it looks. Temporarily, our phone lines will not be in service tonight, so if you try to call, I don't want to waste your time there. You should not call. You can tweet, however, and we can talk about some of the big events of the day. It's 412-575-2600 in the future, but not necessarily tonight. But you can tweet us at KDPomp, and we'd like to talk about some of the events of the day, which include, of course, the Steelers coming off a big win against Cleveland yesterday and pretty much putting to rest the Browns any chance of making the playoffs. And when you think about it, this is going to be 18 straight years now. Cleveland won't make the postseason. Their chances have been reduced to 4.8%. The Steelers, by winning yesterday, have increased their chances, but still, they got a long way to go. And when you look at it, right now, obviously the wild card is going to be the way it gets done, because the Ravens have command of not only the division, but right now, the #1 seed in the AFC. That's because yesterday it was New England going down to Houston, and they have a lot to play for right now as they beat Tom Brady's team, which didn't look so good. Brady had nobody open, and when you don't have anybody open, even the best quarterbacks, even the GOAT, can look bad, and he did not look good last night. And I think this has been a problem that has plagued Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels, and that offense in New England pretty much all season long. Their defense has really carried them, and they're still 10-2. They're still a dangerous team, make no mistake, but right now the Ravens have control because of that head-to-head win. So the best way for the Steelers to get in would be wild card, maybe the only way, and right now they have the 6th seed. They are behind Buffalo. Buffalo has the 5 seed. They're 9-3. The Steelers are 7-5, tied with Tennessee, which has really come on strong. The Titans, and Mike Vrabel's done a very good job with that team. He had to bench Marcus Mariota. That's hard to do when he's your #1 kind of guy, and you to be the franchise quarterback, and he hasn't been that. So they made a switch, and they went with Ryan Tannehill, who's been remarkable since he's come over there, and he's led Tennessee to a 7-5 record. They're very much involved with the Houston Texans to win that South Division. So I want to tell you about the remaining schedules here, just because Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Tennessee likely are the teams battling for 2 of those 3 wildcard positions. The Steelers, as you know, they have a trip to Arizona coming up to take on the Cardinals, which got obliterated yesterday at home by the Rams. So 3-8-1. The Steelers should beat that team, although, again, the Steelers have a lot of young players who have just tried to patchwork themselves into winning games, and they've done a pretty good job. Then they have the Steelers do that game with the Bills, which has been flexed to 8:20 now instead of 1 o'clock. And then they finish with 2 road games, at the Jets and at the Ravens. And by then, the Ravens, who knows if that game is going to be important or not. So the Bills have the toughest of these schedules, I think. And they, theoretically, at 9-3, could drop to 10-6 if they lose 3 games. And they have the Ravens coming up this week, so that will be tough. That's in Buffalo. Then they come to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers in that game that's been flexed to 8:20. And then they have to go to New England. So in succession, they have Baltimore, Pittsburgh, New England. They end with the Jets at home. So if they go 1-3, they'll end up 10-6. And the Steelers, theoretically, if they go 3-1, can tie them, provided they beat the Bills head-to-head, and they could be the 5th seed. The Titans, on the other hand, in that division, they saved the head-to-head meetings between the Titans and the Texans to 2 of the final 3 games. So the Titans have at the Raiders coming up this week, and then they have the Houston Texans at home, the New Orleans Saints at home, and the Texans again down in Houston. So that's not an easy schedule either. At this point, you'd have to say the Steelers have the easiest schedule, but the Steelers also are playing with a lot of, lost manpower, significant pieces. And that's where we pick up the story with what we saw yesterday from Devlin Hodges. Devlin Hodges has done everything that they could have asked him to do throughout the course of this season. And for some reason, it's hard for some people to look at him and say that he's a legitimate opportunity. And I'm not saying he is going to be anything but what he is. But what he is right now is someone capable of coming in and not losing games. To use Mike Tomlin's money quote from last week, don't want him to kill us. Well, he didn't. In fact, he helped you. You look down the field, Devlin Hodges was 4 of 6 when throwing the ball 20 yards or more. This is for 133 yards. James Washington was big. And it leads to the argument that we often have. Is it the quarterback who makes the receiver, or the receiver makes the quarterback? And in my view, it's always going to be the quarterback who makes the receiver. Receivers just want an opportunity to go up and get a ball, and that's what they're supposed to do. And yesterday, Devlin Hodges gave James Washington opportunities by putting the ball right on the money when you think about it. The touchdown pass, it was between a corner and a safety who was late getting over there, and James Washington made a hell of a catch, don't get me wrong. But it was still where it had to be. The 44-yarder down the sidelines, right there. Good coverage, Denzel Ward, it didn't matter. The pass was well thrown, Washington made the play. But the biggest play, and it didn't figure in any of the scoring, was the 31-yarder that came on a free play. And it kind of just, I think, made everyone feel more relaxed. They opened up the playbook a little bit. It was followed by a reverse, and they moved the ball, and I think became more confident. So all those plays were big. So those are the Steelers as we move forward here with a big game coming up against Arizona. You're going to see that one on KDKA-TV with 2 hours of postgame following. Some of the other big notes that we saw from this game were T.J. Watt just continues to have a monster season. And it looks like the bookend linebackers are going to end up, the edge rushers, doing something that hasn't been done since 2008 when Woodley and Harrison were both in double digits in sacks. And right now, Bud Dupree is at 8.5 sacks, and T.J. Watt's at 12.5. He could get to 16. The all-time in one season is James Harrison, 16. So that could be in jeopardy the way he's playing. Those guys are playing really well. Javon Hargrave is playing really well. It's interesting because today on the Cook and Joe show on 93.7 The Fan, we were talking about money spent in the future because they have 3 guys who are unrestricted free agents coming up. Number 1, it's Bud Dupree. You also have Hargrave, and you have Mike Hilton, who played real well yesterday, too. And he's probably the less of the 3 in terms of, who's going to get the money. I think they want to give it to Bud Dupree. It may be a franchise tag. If not, Hargrave could be more affordable if Dupree prices himself out and is not interested in signing long term. There's still a lot to play out in that department. But it's a good situation for the Steelers, who are now 7-5. A couple of other notes that we talked about that came in tonight. Elias Diaz was not offered a contract by the Pirates, so they really have some issues when it comes to what they're going to do with catching. They have no catchers. They have Stallings and not many other people there. They missed out on 2 marquee guys. Darno signed, and so did a guy that I think everyone wanted, Yasmani Grandal, but you got to pay for those. Today we saw Mike Moustakas enter the division, and that was with the Cincinnati Reds. He goes from the Brewers, and he signs a 4-year, $64 million deal with the Reds. 35 home runs, 87 runs batted in, and he looks to play second base there. So they have, a pretty good lineup going on in Cincinnati. The Pirates have got to figure out ways. The winter meetings are coming up. This is a new regime, and they're going to be tested pretty quickly about what they do with a starting catcher to start. All right, we'll take a break. And this is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call on the Borders and Borders Hotline. It is powered by FanDuel Sportsbook, and we'll be back with more right after this on Pittsburgh CW.